The White House acting more like Hunter's defense attorney. Questions are growing over what the hell the Biden family did in order to secure $1 million in payments in Chinese cash. Gee, I wonder if it was the powerful last name. Hunter has already admitted he took the money after Republicans made bank records public. But that's not stopping Karine Jean-Pierre from accusing Republicans of lying about it.
House Oversight says they've got bank records showing a Chinese energy company paying 3 Biden family members through a third party. What were they paid for?
Look, I'm just not going to respond to that from here. Look, we have heard from House Republicans for years and years and years how the inaccuracies and lies when it comes to this issue. And I don't even know where to begin to even answer that question, because again, it's been lies and lies and inaccuracy for the past couple of years, and I'm just not going to get into it from here.
Well, she's just not going to get into it, Greg, but it's been years and years of the Republicans lying. But that comes as no surprise because Biden staffers have been working as Hunter's personal PR firm for a long time. Newly released emails from 2015 show then Vice President Biden's office tried to kill a news story about Hunter. All right, so Greg, they're all lies and they're trying to kill stories. I mean, I thought the White House didn't get involved in political
This
things.
is such torture. I mean, we find out that Hunter has a mole. I mean,
In the FBI.
well, I was just thinking, I've seen the video. He's got 5. But I mean, but his mole's name is One Eye. I mean, what are you trying to do to us? This is like, it's like you're writing the jokes for me, but if I say them, I'm going to get fired. I'm so jealous. Basically he's raising millions using his name as a way to introduce people. I want to do this with Dana. If you want to meet Dana, and I'm saying this to the audience, if you want to meet Dana, I need some good faith seed money. All right? Good faith seed money. I'll make it happen, right? I'll drive you to her house. You won't mind. But this sheer skullduggery would make a gravedigger jealous. This is stuff, again, if you imagine a Republican doing stuff like this, there's even mulligans that we don't talk about, that we gave him, when he tried to pin the discarded firearm on illegals. Remember he said that? And his casual use of the N-word with his dealer, and then telling his brother's widow to get an AIDS test. There's so many things that it's almost hard to keep up. But you have to keep your eye on the prize, and the eye is the corruption. And the corruption connection to it's a syndicate. Dad, he's the rainmaker for his dad. It's a crime syndicate. It's been going on forever, and now we're seeing it.
Jesse, why does the White House think that they can do this, that they can get away with it, knowing that there's a money trail, that there's bank records, that this stuff is really, if you can finally get it, which we finally did, it's pretty clear.
They think they can get away with it because there's only one Fox News. If Ducey's the only one asking her the question, she can skate. If everyone's asking her the same question, the Bidens are toast. It's like Jenga. I play this with Jesse Jr. It's like, how many things can you pull out and watch this thing still stand? It's unbelievable at this point. But the binder's in a bind because if she says what Hunter says, the Chinese paid him, well, then she's calling her boss a liar. But if she says what her boss said, that it never happened, then she's a liar. So she just says nothing and sees if she gets away with it. And then you have emails, a paper trail going back 10 years, that the Biden communication shop has been burying Hunter Biden stories forever. And now this guy's got a one-eyed mole in the FBI. We call him the furry cyclops. And the guy he used the furry cyclops to tell the guy that bribed him with the $80,000 diamond to get out of the country because the feds were coming.
When you hear this kind of thing, Dana, and, the White House press office going as strong as she did, saying the lies and they're Republicans and all that. I mean, don't they look, as Shakespeare said, they doth protest too much.
Oh, yeah, that could be definitely a problem for them. And she had been fairly disciplined for a long time to say, no comment, we're not commenting, there's an investigation, call over there. And they have, I mentioned him the other day, Ian Sams, he's the spokesperson at the White House counsel's office now. He's the one who's been basically blocking and tackling and actually punching pretty sharply and landing some blows sometimes from the White House counsel's office. So I don't know why she didn't just say, Peter, you got to call Ian Sams. You know his number. I'm not answering it from here because as soon as you answer it from the podium, well, now you own it. And you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube or the horse back in the barn, whatever we want to say. But let's also go back to 10 years ago when the staff of the Biden Vice President's office is in a position of having to take these calls. These calls come. It doesn't matter. Go back. The Reagans dealt with this in terms of children, the questions about relationships with their children. Then you had George H.W. Bush, right? There was a question when the savings and loan crisis happened. Neil Bush, like, well, okay, we got to ask about that. Remember Jimmy Carter had a situation? The Clintons had a situation with a relative and then their own situation.
Jersey Shore had a situation.
It puts I think that what happens in this case with this particular one is that the staff is in a very difficult position because President Biden wants his son defended. On some of these things, his son does not deserve to be defended. And if you look back to some of the emails that we know that were happening in the Obama White House where they were emailing to each other saying, guys, have you seen, like, are you worried? I think I'm worried. We shouldn't, I don't think Hunter, what? And they're nervous about it, but the president has never given them an off-ramp because he demands complete fealty to him and to Hunter.
You know, Jessica, what Dana is talking about is there is an email where to Schwerwin, who is the president of Rosemont Seneca that's now defunct, she's done everything she can to not use it. And they're referring to Kate Bedingfield telling the Bloomberg people.
Yeah, so Kate Bedingfield actually just left recently. She's been in Biden world for ages. And when I read the email exchange, you could sense her frustration coming off the page, right? Like, this is not what I signed up for, right? I signed up to work with Joe Biden. Everyone knows who he is, right? Someone who has this long reputation is getting things done. And this isn't their job. It's not Karine Jean-Pierre's job. That's why they got Ian Sams to do this. And I think that to go beyond what Dana was saying about how President Biden wants his son defended, there's a disconnect between how serious he thinks the issue is and the reality of it. Not necessarily because I think that this is a crime syndicate, because I really don't think that. But
Who paid
these
you
are
to
the
say that?
we get paid by the same person.
Yeah, okay.
Voters, Democrats are not going to not vote for Joe Biden over this unless a crime syndicate is proven. But it's the little gnawing things that just bug you, where you're like, why do I have to deal with this, right? Why are these stories coming out, and why is there no cohesive narrative against it? And that's what Erin Burnett brought up on her show earlier in the week, where she said, if you're just a layperson and you're looking at this, you're really, this is kind of stinky, right, what's happening here. And
Well, what would the narrative be?
Yeah.
well, if there was some declaration where you don't even have to say my son is completely corrupt in any way, but just to say, I never personally profited from this, because that's what people voted for Joe Biden.
Yes,
I don't know.
It's not true.
I don't know. It seems like there are a lot of inconsistencies floating around from what Hunter has said versus what the president has maintained, and I hope that's because they don't align each other.
But it's not enough to say I didn't personally profit if your entire family is profiting.
That's okay, so we all know.
And you're at the center of it.
We all know about nepotism, right? I don't need to do the Schoolhouse Rock about that. There are a lot of very powerful families where brothers and sisters and spouses and kids are.
This is the
so
CCP.
What? It's Saudi.
China runs every. The CCP runs every business in China.
Yeah, I understand. I just agreed with everyone about ByteDance and TikTok here, but I'm saying that to make it out as if this is the first family that has ever profited off of an autocracy that we despise is completely dishonest. So don't do that. People make money in Russia. They make money in Saudi. They make money in China. They make money in Iran.
But it's how they're making money. There's no legitimate business here. These are all foreign bribes.
Yeah, and, you know, other than his last
Seed money in good faith, Jesse.
That's right.
Yep.
And you can get a meeting with Dana if you
I just want to know that they should ask for the tax. How did they pay taxes? That's where you get it.
That's always where they get them.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.